Today I was pondering. Had some camera difficulties today. Had to update my browser and all that jazz. And I was contemplating, what do I cover today? What do I cover? And it came to me that this past week I've been reading in a document that's very personal to me that gives me instructions on how to I don't know, direct my life, if you will. It's called a patriarchal blessing. And I'm not going to go into details about what it says, but there's essentially a couple ideas that I got from it. Is that when there is a person, a place, or a thing, and you're wondering, should I associate with this? Should I dive into this? Should I watch this movie? Should I read this book, et cetera, et cetera? It's kind of along the lines of an author, a Japanese author, who talks about when you go through your closet and you clean your closet out and you ask each article of clothing, does this bring me joy? And then if it does, you keep it. And the next one, does this bring me joy? And then you keep it, etc. So along those same lines, this idea was presented to me is that, does this book or this material draw you closer to the Lord? Or does it lead me to the Lord? And as I was reading from my blessing this earlier this week, though, those ideas, those two questions, is it drawing me closer to the Lord, and is it leading me to the Lord, really struck home. Because for 30 years I have studied either books about faith, of personal development, spiritual development, and I've become quite accustomed to a couple of authors that I've really been fond of, and I've devoured most of their material. Two or three authors actually. And this past week, I put them by the side. They teach wonderful principles, and they teach you how to be good and honorable on this earth. But I don't want just to be good and honorable. I want to be more than that. And they don't teach me about drawing closer to my Lord. And on that note, I want to talk about vision boards. So many people talk about them and create them and have them and use them. And I've tried them on and off, but it's never really resonated with me. And then this past week, I put two and two together, and this kind of the culmination of what this week's has brought to my attention is that number one is, am I studying material that will draw me closer to the Lord? And am I studying it, reading it, implementing it? And if not, though it may be good, there is plenty of material that will draw me closer to the Lord. And you can be drawn closer to the Lord through anything. For example, a friend of mine once explained that, yeah, if you have a 50-pound bucket of grain, you can find, some nuggets of gold. And it'll be a little easier to find a nugget of gold. If it's a small nut, smaller than the grains, it's going to be challenging to find that gold. But you could sift it and you could find it faster. Same thing with sand. If you have a bucket of sand, you could sift it and find it. But would you much rather go through a 50-pound bucket of wheat or sand or something to find little nuggets of gold, or would you much rather go through that same bucket and it's full of gold? Like, for example, what I mean by that is, I've read some books, and I'm like, okay, I get it, okay, I get it. And then I find one nugget, and I'm like, wow. There's a reason why I was impressed to finish that book. For one book that I read, like, that was almost 400 pages long, and I was like, okay. And then the one nugget made it totally worth it. Other books, um, other books you read and you're like, okay, all right, what am I getting from it? I'm more of the meat and potato kind of guy, figuratively speaking. I want to hear the truth. I want to hear a paragraph that just spells it out, rather than one simple truth and then regurgitating it over and over in different ways to look at it. Like, give me truth after truth after truth. That's one reason why I love James Allen's works. So as what I'm trying to get at is that some books you can read and you'll find one or two principles that just kind of, and other books you can read and it's like, whoa, this is loaded with nuggets. So in the quest of perfection in Christ, in the quest of being honor more than just honorable, good and honorable man of the earth, being valiant in the testimony of Christ, there comes a point where you want to read material that's going to help you reach that aim. And though in my youth I had this dream of being mega wealthy, and I still do, but I in that at that time in my youth it was more about things, and now it's more about service and more about being able to help and give and serve other people. And the more wealth you have, the more you can give, the more you can serve. So, um, on that note, some of the books that I have read that I have now put to the side have been about how to acquire wealth. And wealth is a byproduct of living correct principles. And when one strives to put God first and to do his work and his glory, then those other things come as a natural byproduct if you desire them. And I found a way that helps me to do his work and to achieve the wealth in the same punchline instead of feeling like, okay, I can do this X, Y, and Z, and it's going to help me get wealth, but I'm not necessarily building his kingdom in the process. So I'm talking to those of you, disciple dads in particular, that feel like there's more to life than just making a buck to have a nice house. I'm talking about those that have talents and that understand their place and their purpose in life, and they want to share those talents and be compensated for doing that, for doing a work to build something greater than yourself. Now, if that's up your alley, hit comment yes in the comments, and we'll connect at a deeper level. But the point is that, what are you reading? What are you studying? Is it helping you draw closer to the Lord or not? And having said that, that doesn't mean that studying economics won't draw you closer to the Lord. That doesn't mean studying history won't help you draw closer to the Lord. I'm not trying to get at that. But the point I'm trying to make is that for my particular gifts and talents and those that I would like to develop is about being like my master. And to do that, I need to read books that draw me closer to him and lead me to him, rather than looking at other material. So, all right, that's what I have for today. So this system that I'm referencing that helps you to learn how to market and promote the work that you're doing and gives you a step-by-step process. You can get access through the link in my website, but are on this YouTube live. It's dadspaiddaily.com. And when you go to that, it's simply going to ask for an email address, and you're going to have access to some videos that are going to teach you the 4 different options that you have to purchase and how you can utilize those to help you whatever your goals are, to find the appropriate one. And the beautiful thing about this system is it doesn't cost additional funding. There's no additional add-ons, no additional pay for services like coaches and other things like that. It's a one-time purchase. And when you get into this program, it gives you the power to receive 100% of the profit when you sell it to someone else, and rather than getting a cut of the pie, for example. Years ago, I don't recall who said this, but someone said something in effect that either you are working to help someone achieve their dreams or you're working to achieve your dreams. And I love about this system is that it gives me the power to achieve my dreams and get compensated for my dreams while building Father's kingdom. So if that's up your alley, if you're a disciple dad looking to make a difference in the world and in your own family, and to dream again and to reach further and higher, let's connect. Hit yes in the comments, and we'll do this. I also usually I usually start with this in the beginning, but the idea is that, by the way, I'm Kent, and I am a disciple of Christ and father of six, and having battled mental illness for 23 years, I'm on a mission to bring hope and prosperity to disciple dads. So when you know what your mission is, as Martin Luther King Jr. put it, he said something that affects like this. And in June 23rd, 1963, in a March to Detroit address, he said that a man who, if a man hasn't found, I'm paraphrasing essentially, if a man hasn't found that something worthy to die for, he's not fit to live. And if you're looking for that thing, then that's awesome. And if you found that thing and you're looking for a way to promote it, that's awesome too. And if you haven't and you're not, I invite you to look for it. And not only be willing to die for a particular message or a purpose or mission in this life, but to be willing to live for it. Willing to do something about it. Willing to make an impact. Willing to put yourself on the line and to speak from your heart and speak from your mind and allow God to utilize you with your talents, because you're going to reach people that I can't reach. And like there are many that have reached me that I don't think would resonate with other people that know me. So discover your purpose. Know that you are a son or daughter of God and that you have a purpose. You have something, a message to share. There are people who are struggling where you struggled 2, 3, 5, 10 years ago that could use your assistance. Are you willing to get lost in their service? Are you willing to share your message of hope to them so that they can be catapulted and not take years to recover like it did for you? If so, you got to check out dadspaydaily.com. Get access to the system that will teach you the step-by-step process. Not only will it teach you this, but it will give you access to a 40,000 strong community of people that are supporting and lifting one another. And we'll get to work together as well. So have a beautiful day today. Thanks for joining, and let's go out. Let's rock the world, and let's make a difference by sharing our talents, sharing our lights, being a light on the hill and not hiding it under a bushel or hiding it in the dirt. And let's build something bigger than ourselves.